to focus on is to examine the relationship between the internet use and the democracy. Were the revolutions tweeted in Arab Spring, even the studies on the same social movement have reached very contradictory conclusions. And in my approach, I'm not going to establish a direct link between the internet use and the social change or the political participation. I propose 3 mechanisms in this hypothetical model. First one, the first mechanism is from the SNS use to information network. The function of the social networking sites is primarily to generate information from friends and exchange within one's online network. And in the process of the exchange, some information of political importance will be circulated within the platform and through the human agency. The political information we expect will flow to their other networks. So we have our first hypothesis. SNS use is positively linked with the information network, the behavior of circulating political information. The second mechanism is the mobilization from information behavior to civic actions in real life and even the political participation. In this model, the political participation refers to radical activities that explicitly challenge the regime. Meanwhile, we should also be noted that in an authoritarian country like China, these kind of activities it's now institutionalized and rarely practiced. So we also need to take into consideration of the civic actions, which is coined here as the community services, volunteering, and other social work for charity. So I propose this set of hypotheses. Political information gathering and sharing behavior will be positively linked to civic actions. Civic actions will be, the civic actions will be further positively related to political participation. However, in many literatures, there are some other predictors of political participation, such as political skills and political attitude. Here comes my third set of hypotheses. Political skills and political attitude is the most important, the important mediation that links SNS use with the information network, civic actions, and political participation. So, to fulfill the goals of this research, a survey was conducted in spring 2010 at Tsinghua University, covering both undergrad and grad students. We used multi-stage sampling. We handed out over 700 questionnaires and have over 500 respondents. The response rate was over 70%. In terms of the measures, the political participation is measured as behavior, not attitude. By using the factor analysis, I extracted 3 groups of behaviors. The first one is the participation related with gathering and sharing controversial information or news. The second is about civic actions with a focus on the caring about the public life. And the third is about radical political participation behaviors. Of course, there are some other variables. The independent variable is the SNS use, which is considered in 2 dimensions: the time spent on SNS and the frequency of SNS use, and also the political attitude by examining the political interest and political efficacy. That's the self-reported statistics in the questionnaire. And also the political skills, demographics, and the purposes of using the SNS and internet use. I'm not going to deep into further. So here comes my findings. this model, using the structural equation modeling, was strictly based on the hypothesis I proposed. But unfortunately, this model is not so perfectly fit. But as we can see, the evaluation figures, we can see this is not a randomly distributed model, but we can definitely see there is a pattern within this data. So I revised this model a little bit. So here comes my final model. This modified model fits my theory very well. So this is here is the button. It's the independent variables of time spent on SNS, and on the right side, the information network and the civic actions and the political participation. We can see there is a path going through that. This can test my hypothesis of the three mechanisms. And also the political attitude acted as a mediation between the time on SNS as well as information network. Specifically, I can talk more about the information. Just in case people will ask me about what's the definition of the political participation and civic actions and information network in Chinese context. These behaviors like information network are measured as sharing the news, discussing the news, and reading the news. And civic actions is more like charity work. And the political participation specifically refers to they go on for assembly or to protest or to wearing clothes with the political symbols. So here this path, we can see a direct effect of time spent on SNS on the informational network. So we can accept our first hypothesis. And we can also see a strong linkage between the information network and civic actions, as the direct effect is 0.58 and is significant. So we can also accept hypothesis H2A. And the direct effect of the civic actions on the political participation is also significant. So we can accept hypothesis H2B. Also, this study has proved that the political attitude is identified as a strong predictor of the political informational behavior. And but as not shown in this graph, the time spent on SNS is negatively linked to the political attitude, so we can only partially support the hypothesis H3B. So in conclusion, this study has established the three mechanisms between the internet use and their offline political participation. And later, we can for future studies or in the discussion part, we could discuss social capital, using the social capital theory to explain this path. Specifically, there are two types of social capitals. One camp focuses on the time and money to predict the social capitals within the network, but the other is more focusing on the motivational use of the network. Our study have supported the second camp of theory of social capital theory, like the motivational use of the network. So SNS can contribute to their offline political participation. Here are some tables for future references. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.